土曜日の読書の時間がやってまいりました。We have a special guest. I'm so excited to have Freda sensei.
It's my pleasure.
Oh, thank you
I
so
love
much.
your materials.
Can you tell me how would you find 日本語で読書 online? Just a
You mean
link?
before I bookmarked it? Well, I saved the bookmark. I mean, I have a bookmark. Yeah,
Okay.
but if I forgot, I would go to the Japan Foundation Los
Okay.
Angeles website.
Yes, Japan Foundation Los Angeles. So we click there.
You go to Japanese language education.
Yes, that's right.
And you go to teachers.
Teachers.
And then you have to go down to, where is it? Online resources.
Online resources, yes.
Then what? Is it teaching resources?
Yeah.
Okay.
We were just talking about this earlier that so
Right.
Japan Foundation supported our material or project, and then they actually put it on teaching resources and learning resources. We can go to learner resources. Let's find out what's over there.
Yeah, that's where it should be. I mean, for sure. Yeah. I'm glad to hear
they put
that.
the videos, they put, and one of the resources is reading resources. And we're on top, customize reading in Japanese stories for creative and innovative classrooms. It looks like for teachers, but also if you're a learner, you can also use this without editing, or you can edit too if you get to that point where you can edit your story. So this is our website. Now we're gonna go take a look at STEM page. We have animal science and social impact of technology. Freda is gonna help us explore this second story, 空飛ぶリス。空飛ぶリス。私は空飛ぶリスをアメリカのオハイオ州で見ました。空飛ぶリスは森に住んでいます。森で果物と花と虫とキノコを食べます。空飛ぶリスは木から木へ飛びます。でも鳥ではありません。昼は寝ています。夜は起きています。冬は20匹ぐらいで体を温め合いながら春を待ちます。
I like it.
Oh, do you think you can use this for your class?
I think I could use it for myself as a learner, and I think that I could use this in the classroom. I could make this available or call my students' attention to this. Definitely.
Have you used any STEM topic related to STEM in your class?
Hardly at all.
Hardly
at all.
Okay.
So this would be a great way to start. I could imagine using this as a way to start. I teach because I'm teaching very beginners. So for my purposes, I would provide the furigana higher level students. For example, for myself, I appreciated reading it without furigana because I could see what I could understand without it. So I that's one of the things that I like about this format is that I could customize it for my students depending on their level. But as a learner, I enjoyed not having the furigana because I could challenge myself. I like how the title, here we are at the title of the story, and this picture tells me a lot because as an American, I recognize that that's the state of Ohio. So the picture tells me.
This artist.
The picture tells me. Yeah, the outline.
embedded some kind of clue right there.
Some people would understand that and some people wouldn't.
How about this? Bisu, it's katakana instead of hiragana.
Right. That gives me like of course I noticed that right away and I wonder why. But I also like and I like that it's katakana because it distinguishes it from the verb right before it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it calls my attention to it. So I realize that. So sometimes I'm looking at it as a teacher and sometimes I'm looking at this text as a learner, but as both all the time. But
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I realize that this is calling attention to this particular noun. So, and I wonder why, as a learner, I think, oh, what I thought all katakana is for words of foreign origin, but not necessarily. And this is a different case.
Did you want to say something about this?
Well, again, the use of the different scripts, the different orthography, I appreciate that there is no hiragana makes it really essential that there are different scripts so I can figure out where the chunks are. It helps me understand it and make sense of this. I just, it's fun to see all the variety in one sentence.
Originally came from people, actually living in Ohio. The story, it has somewhat authenticity. And the next slide, would you like to comment on this page?
First of all, I love the picture. And then the same use of orthography is helpful to me as a learner, and it's a nice the previous sentence was long and then this is short. I like the variety, and the kanji visually attractive too, the use of the kanji, so I can appreciate kanji for Morty even is kind of emphasized by the picture. So
I see.
They're complementary. Let's see what the next
page.
This whole story is a great collection of the natural use of nature kanji for nature. Yeah, it's a natural way it naturally requires all this kanji. So it's an authentic and meaningful use of this kanji, not like just memorizing a list of, it's a context for using this. But it naturally occurs that way. It's not because, I need a context to teach this, but it just so happens that you need this kanji to tell this story.
Yes.
So, and there's nice repetition here because the kanji is, the kanji for forest is there and things get repeated. Yeah, well, definitely the grammar is embedded in the sentence. But I like how the picture represents what the meaning of the kanji. So if I were talking about using this as teaching material, the pictures are right there. Everything that you need is contained in this piece. The picture and the language and the writing. So it's all naturally contained.
Okay, can we go to the next page?
Yeah, the subject is doing something very active. I know that the verb's at the end, and so I'm guessing that that's what he's doing. He is doing the tobima. Yeah, I do wonder, is he flying? He looks like he's jumping, but is he flying or jumping? So I'm wondering, oh wow, what is he doing? Is he really flying? Is he jumping? I'm not 100% sure. And I like how it says ki kara ki e. And as a learner, we are often taught like, kara goes with made, kara made. Can get confused like, when would I say e? When, what's the difference? But I really like that it appears here naturally, and it kind of tells me, okay, it can occur in this case too. I don't always have to say kara made or kara ki ni. So e is okay here too. So this is interesting to me as a learner. And as I'm looking, as we're looking at this page, the name of this creature, Soratobu Risu. So the name of the squirrel is also in the verb. So that kind of reinforces for me the meaning, or it gives me a hint that's what it is. So I think this is the first place in the story where the verb shows up. Oh yeah, this is very dramatic. And this clarifies for me as the reader, if I wasn't sure about flying or jumping. Okay, this confirms for me, okay, he's not flying like a bird with wings, he's jumping. This is a helpful page. It's a helpful sequence in this story. It clarifies for me.
Now, next page.
As a learner, I'm kind of relieved that it's a short sentence, right? Okay. Now I can I can just focus on one thing, and I can recognize noon, and I see that the main subject is sleeping. So that confirms for me the what that verb is. I know that noon is not sleeping. I know that there's no subject, active subject, but this is probably contrastive wa. I'm not sure because I haven't seen the next sentence, but yeah, I like the style of this sentence, the pace of this sentence after the previous details. So it's nice here. I feel like it's anticipating something else because of that wa. So here's actually, this story is so short, but it is so rich, so full of important high frequency kanji and verbs. So it's a really short sentence, but it's really another example of another form, a sentence, a grammatical form. So rich. So here's the contrast that the other sentence was asking for, or implying. Very satisfying as a reader and a learner to have these kind of companion sentences next to each other. So and the art supports it. So it's such a surprising, it's such a dramatic ending because the previous page, the squirrel is awake in the night by himself, and now suddenly the squirrels are gathered. So I can see that a bunch of squirrels are grouped together, and it's it's really quite a dramatic picture. And then so I, psychologically, when I see a long sentence with a lot of kanji, I could panic, but fortunately I can recognize the season kanji for winter.
Yes.
Yeah. So fortunately, that is kind of an anchor for me. I know, okay, this is talking about winter. And then since I know that animals hibernate, I can kind of guess that they must be
because
gathering in the winter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then I see, are there really 20 squirrels there? I went body parts. I know body parts.
Karada.
I know, karada. I know weighting. I'm familiar with these kanji individually, but I've never seen, I've never said this verb, like this complex verb, but was familiar with the kanji, and I can see the picture. I can guess what it means, and I atatameai nagara. Wow, that I know nagara like while or in the meantime or something, and I can kind of put it all together, and they're warming up each other. So I feel, as a learner, I feel like, oh, I'm kind of proud of myself. So I had no idea, my relatives are all from the state of Ohio, and that there were so-called flying squirrels in Ohio. I really didn't know that, and I feel very tickled to know that now about my own country. And it's kind of cool that I learned that through Japanese. I mean, by reading this little story, I learned about something in my own country, something from, and I think it's really fascinating to learn about something from my own country or my own background through Japanese. So I realized that, this foreign language I can use to learn about my own area. And this is a new experience for me because it always in the past, when I read Japanese, it's always a window to Japanese culture or something. But here, the language, I can learn about my own place. It's a new experience for me.
I see.
It's very liberating because this kind of story, my students I think it would encourage them and me to use Japanese to write about stuff we know to share with others. So it's not that we're just using Japanese to learn about Japan only. We can actually use Japanese to communicate about ourselves. It may not be native speaker production, but if it can communicate something meaningful, then it's real communication. So I find that this material is very, I find it very liberating.
Thank you.
This is, So I can definitely use this in the classroom, and I can use it for me as a learner.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for all the detailed comments in details.
This is only a 9-page story, but it is incredibly rich.
どうもありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。失礼します。
失礼します。
はい。
じゃあまた土曜日の読書でお会いしましょう。